Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and today we're back with the topic I said I wanted to cover in my last Heartland video, which was of course covering the game's delay. Yes, if you didn't hear, the Division Heartland has received a delay. Previously, Ubisoft said it would release within fiscal 2021, which ends in March of 2022, so it was meant to release, then or any time before, but now it's been moved to the fiscal 2022 release window, which means it could release anytime between April of 2022 and March of 2023, which is an annoyingly long window, undoubtedly. I wish Ubi would provide us with some more concrete info. What's weird with Heartland is that it still feels unannounced, in a sense. Obviously, they did announce it to the world in that Division Universe article back in May, but ever since, the game has not been officially recognized by Red Storm's website or social media. It was only, referenced on the Division's Twitter when they said they're not going to be at E3, and so the only way you'd really know it exists is if you read that one specific article, you look at Red Storm devs' Twitters to see that their bios say they're on Heartland, or you pay attention to Ubi investors' calls. So, weird is a pretty good descriptor for Heartland. And I still get people to this day who think that Heartland is a Division 2 DLC. They don't even know what it is by name. There's just so much ambiguity with it. But some of that, I assume, is due to the ongoing development behind the scenes. If the game has been delayed into the next fiscal year, then that gives Red Storm ample time to continue to iterate, refine, and nail down the core image and essence of the game, which is usually pretty important for a game to have when you reveal it. But anyway, I digress. My previous Heartland video was covering the announced delay. I just sat down and recorded, my thoughts the minute I saw the news. And so that video was comprised of my very immediate and raw thoughts and emotions. And like I said in that video, I wanted to give it some time and then come back with a more collected and analytical approach to the subject. And so that's what I'm here to do today. I want to give some of my more collected thoughts on the delay and what it will ultimately mean for the game and the franchise moving forward, talk about why it's probably not as big of a deal as the wording of the delay makes it sound like it will be, and then give my new prediction on when I think the Division Heartland will now release. So let's just get right into it. My last video last week was unfiltered, to say the least, and I want to not backtrack, but provide my new outlook on the situation now that it's been a week and I've had a chance to think everything over, and mostly by that I mean you guys were all right. Everyone in the comments on that video who said that this is nothing but a good thing that it has been delayed, you're correct. My reasoning for saying I was upset about the delay in that video was kind of twofold. One, I just want the game. I've said a million times, out of everything we know that's coming for the Division universe, I was most excited for Heartland, and the margin there is pretty sizable to the next thing, which is probably Division 2's new content. And so especially given the dry year we've had this year for the Division, I'm desperate for this game. I feel like I can't wait for it, but the truth is, and I recognize this now, I'd much rather wait longer for a polished, well-tuned, and fully fleshed out game than anything less than that. And so if this delay means that Red Storm has a better chance of achieving that, then they should absolutely be given and take advantage of that opportunity, especially considering, as we've discussed before, everyone kind of agrees that while Heartland sounds epic in concept, it might struggle trying to draw in a non-Division audience player base, even as a free-to-play title. And so it needs every advantage and opportunity to stand out. So hopefully this delay can further ensure its quality and appeal to draw in those audiences and be the success I think a lot of us know it can be. And then the second reason I mentioned for being upset about the delay is that I was concerned that the, kind of ample amount of time now that they could have before launch could lead to the Red Storm team shifting somewhat substantially far away from the game that they had back in May of this year. And while that does still concern me to a degree because I really enjoyed that first iteration, ultimately I just, have to forget about that. Terry, Keith, and Red Storm as a whole know what they're doing. I have total faith in their commitment and ability to deliver a Division spin-off worthy of its name, and who's to say that this final version won't surpass what I personally believed the first one got right. So there you go. If this delay can make the Division Heartland a fun, rock-solid experience upon launch, then we'll absolutely 100% take that extra time. The Division franchise kind of needs that indisputable win right now, and I think Heartland absolutely has the potential to bring that, so I'm all in favor of giving Red Storm any and everything they need to achieve that, and so let's just hope they do. Next up, let's talk about the mechanics of the delay itself, because regardless of everything I just said, I don't actually think this delay is going to amount to much as far as the actual release in relation to the original deadline that we were expecting. And by that I mean, fiscal 2022 is a large window, and just because that indicates that it could release as late as March 2023, I don't think it will, and I don't think that means it will. I highly doubt that they would sit on this thing for that long. It just wouldn't make sense, especially considering if they were to release it then, Heartland would have had a longer development window than the Division 2 did for a game that's going to be noticeably smaller in scale given its free-to-play nature. So that's all to say, this delay is probably really only going to mean it releases a few months later than we were originally hoping, because a lot of us, myself included, had begun to think and kind of accepted that we might not be getting Heartland until March of 2022, the deadline for the original fiscal 2021 window. Well, let's just consider that a mere 4-month period after that is still well into fiscal 2022. That would be, what, July? I'll say this now. My new official prediction for the Division Heartland's release is summer to early fall of 2022. June, July, August, maybe September, somewhere in there, which is at most only 6 months after that previous March date. Does that still sting a bit? Yeah, but I think the phrasing of it and looking at it that way makes it sting a whole lot less than thinking, oh, fiscal 2022, like that's so far off, because I really don't think it's going to be that long of a wait. And the kind of nice thing about that possibility is we may not have to wait that long for a reveal of the game, if that's the case. I could absolutely see a reality where we get news and updates leading up to the release of Division 2, that is, news content in February, and then we get to March, Division's birthday, its sacred month, and whether it be a Red Storm broadcast, a new article, whatever, we finally get an update on the Division Heartland. Maybe not even confirming its release date, but just saying, hey, thanks for being patient with us. Here's the basic plan moving forward. Here's some details on the game. We're excited to share more with you at E3. And then maybe at E3, they give the announcement that it's coming in just, 1, 2, 3 months after that point, which, if you'll recall, is very similar to how they handled the Division 2's reveal, where they made a special deal out of it on State of the Game in March of 2018 to announce the game and share some of the process of how they got there, and then they just left us with, see you at E3. And then when we got to E3, that's where we got the trailer, the release date, all of that stuff. So I could absolutely see a similar thing happening here with the Division Heartland, which, if that were the case, means we've only got 4 months to go before getting our next big update and potentially like a re-reveal, an official announcement. Again, kind of weird with how it's been handled thus far, but that's exciting to me, and I really hope that turns out to be the case. I know Red Storm has something special up their sleeve. They've got some extra time now to flesh it out, make the game they want and need it to be, and I just hope we don't have to wait too long to be let in on what that is, because I don't think we'll have to. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe with notifications on so you can be updated every time I upload. Let me know your thoughts about this whole discussion. Have you had any additional thoughts on Heartland's delay since we spoke about it last week? What are some of your new predictions on how they'll handle the reveal and the release moving forward? Definitely let me know all of that down below. I'll be curious to hear what you all have to say. As I said before, I'm still more excited about the Division Heartland than anything Division coming up, and as much as this delay sucks, I think it guarantees we're set to receive an even more special project and product upon release, and I can't wait for when that day comes. Alright, that's going to do it for me, everyone. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and until the next one, guys, RogueGold out.